Hello everyone and welcome back to Red's World. In our last episode, we built up our town square and filled it with our giant Christmas tree and presents all around the tree. And we also moved our nether portal into a cute little present set, with purple being the one that the portal is tucked into, and I love that so much. For today's episode, we are going to be building up a cozy little Christmassy gingerbread wool farm so that we can have all of the colorful wool around us to use in our gingerbread village here. And at the end of the episode, I have a fun surprise for you all that involves gunpowder. If you're enjoying this series so far, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, in between our episodes, I actually added a brand new shop to our gingerbread village during a commentary long play, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. We built up a Santa's cookie shop, and it's so cute. We've got the little sign saying that it's Santa's cookie shop. We've got cookies on display, and we even have a giant cookie out front just to make sure everybody knows this is where you can buy your cookies and little baked goods. Now, if we go on inside, we've got our little menu board where you can buy different cakes, pies, and of course cookies. We have our menu next to our little order here, so we've got a stair to use for our little kind of cashier checkout spot. We've got a little gingerbread cookie picture that is just the cutest little blinking dude. And we've got two farmers that are working the counter, and what's the funnest thing is we have a painting that has cookies and milk for Santa, but we have a painting that is Santa, and I added a little award placard for Santa being our most loyal customer to our cookie shop. Now, if we go up here, this is kind of like the office area where we can sit out and look at the little spruce trees, and we also have spots where we can put recipe books, and we have kind of our little cocoa bean drying, growing area, and I love it so much. It is absolutely adorable. Now, the project we're working on today is over by these strays, but if I just keep my distance and show you this outline, this is where we're going to build up the wool farm, and I have been collecting up some dyes in these chests over here, and I also, on a stream, was able to collect up a bunch of supplies and resources for said wool farm build, so we don't have to do quite as much resource gathering. But there is still a few things we need to collect up. We need to breed up a lot more of our sheep. I've already started dyeing some of them so that they can fit into their appropriate color spots once we get the farm set up. And we also have a bunch of the redstone bits that we already started collecting up and making, but we have a bunch of bows ready to make our dispensers and observers with the quartz, and lots of shears to put into the dispensers. And of course, this is kind of more so where we have all the sheep sitting above on grass on the hopper mine carts, but we've got all of these pieces together. So the last bits to do is just craft up all of the redstone bits from our collected resources and move a bunch of sheep over into their space. So let's get working on those things. After getting rid of the Filza killer, I thought I could safely run back to my sheep pen and sleep inside it to stay safe until I could turn it day and the zombies would start burning. Yeah, that did not go to plan. So we were officially down a sheep. A moment of silence for our little sheep friend. We then got to work filling in the creeper hole and collecting up all of our sheep that wandered off while we were trying to survive through the night. Once we had all of our colored sheep in their new pen, we went to go move the sheep outside my starter house over there too, which frankly, I know you're supposed to count sheep as you fall asleep, but with all of them baaing all night long right outside my window, it was a little bit hard to sleep, so moving them is perfect. Alrighty, we've got all of the sheep moved over from their respective pens. Now it is time to move over all of our resources to build up the wool farm and actually get building this thing. Enjoy the time lapse. All the sheep are in place, and I decided to make 20 little sheep farm modules since there were some colors that I wanted more than others. Right over here, there's like just a bunch of the white sheep since I didn't really feel like I needed the light gray, dark gray, or the brown wool, and I can just dye the white wool when I need those colors accordingly. But with the technical part done and working away, giving us all of the different wool types, we can move on to my favorite part, which is the decorating. By the windows in the front, there are 2 sheep display signs, and I want to have some Jeb sheep in the window, kind of making kind of like a fun display for our wool shop. And then we're going to have the counter where you can check out after buying some of the wool, and I do want to get some shepherd villagers working behind the counter. I also want to have a little sheep farm module example here, so we'll even put the sheep in here. And then we'll have some barrels right here with some wool for sale. And we have our employee only room, which is mostly gonna be just a space for extra storage. When the wool farm kind of gets above capacity, we can kind of just transition to these other chests and kind of use this as more of a crafting room. And it also gives us access up to our little sheep farm modules. So without further ado, let's get decorating these different sections. All right, everyone, our wool shop is done, and I love the decorations in here. It's crazy how just adding a little bit of the greenery, these snowy leaves, just makes it a little bit more Christmassy right away. I think it's so much fun. Obviously, we are missing our shepherds working here because we are very low on, villagers and employees right now. That'll be a future red problem, but they will be here. And because we've had this going for so long while we've been decorating, we now have plenty of wool to add it to our roof so that it looks like it's more of a candy gumdrop roof to fit the gingerbread village vibes, because these roofs over here have some wool on them, but I needed a lot more wool because this is a much larger roof. So that's what we're gonna work on next. So I've got some leaves that I saved over here. We've got some coarse dirt for our path. We'll make a little bit more coarse dirt right here. And then we'll grab our brown concrete powder to mix in for our path. And we're gonna grab a bunch of different wool colors. And then we'll have our exterior done. Okay, it's the next morning and the gumdrops and little candy bits are added to the roof, and I think it looks so cute. I love how this place is slowly getting filled out. It's just so cute. But the next thing that we're going to work on today, guys, is that today, IRL, it is New Year's Eve, which means that in the US, people celebrate by getting together with friends or family, and then we count down till midnight when the next year starts. And there's always lots of fireworks involved in the celebration, so we are going to be making our very own little fireworks show in Minecraft, and we're going to shoot off the fireworks above our gingerbread village because it's going to look so pretty at night with the colored glowing fireworks shooting into the sky. But there's a part of this I'm not excited about, and that is getting some of the items to make said fireworks. Now, in my live stream, I was collecting a bunch of gunpowder by hunting creepers so that, we could make some of the gunpowder parts, but I realized that I was missing the key ingredient, which was fire charges. Now, you make fire charges by combining coal and gunpowder, which I can get those relatively easy, but the last ingredient we need is blaze rods. Yeah, we have to go find a fortress now. We have a stack and 2 of gunpowder, which is great. Feathers can be used to make certain patterns in the fireworks, and gold nuggets can also be used to give us some fun patterns in our fireworks. Now, we have to go into the Nether, and so we're gonna go over to our present portal. I am a little bit nervous, but we'll do anything for some cute fireworks. So we collected up all the items we need for the Nether and hopped into the portal. Once inside, we were greeted by our long-lost Fletcher, who said they had just wanted to go somewhere warm for a bit, but thought this was not the peaceful vacation they had wanted, so I quickly stopped to help them get back to their house. Once we dropped them off, they thanked us, and we were back into the Nether. We decided to first trade with some piglins, and one of them gave us a fire res potion. So, feeling a lot more prepared, we ventured off through the Nether looking for a fortress. We did have to do some danger bridging, but after a while, we finally saw a fortress in the distance. Once inside, we began blocking off things for the wither, and right down the hall we found a fully encased blaze spawner, which was perfect. So we began setting up some walls to keep the blaze from lighting us on fire, and we used some slabs to make it easier for us to hit them without them reaching us, and eventually we got our first blaze rod. So I continued trying to get blaze rods this way for about 15 more minutes, but with only 1 blaze rod collected, I got impatient and drank our fire res potion and just went right at them, which got us up to 7 blaze rods. Which at that point, we left to start exploring for chests around the fortress. As we opened chests, we did find the rib armor trim in one of them, some nether wart, and even a diamond. We next collected up some more nether wart and decided we better not press our luck and began the long journey back home, and it felt so good to be back where it was safe and cozy once again. So we celebrated with a good snooze. The next morning, we crafted our very first fire charge, and it was kind of fun to have a reason to craft something that I usually just leave behind since we actually have a purpose for them today. With our fire charges made, we combine the fire charge, gunpowder, and dye to create our very first firework star, which you combine with gunpowder and paper to make a firework rocket. Once we had all the crafting recipes figured out, we started making a wide variety of firework stars and firework rockets, using up all the different kinds of colored dyes we had brought along with us. I also learned that if you add glowstone when you're making the firework star, it adds a twinkling effect to the fireworks. So we started adding glowstone to pretty much all of our fireworks. After some time, we had a barrel full of our fireworks all ready to go. With all of our fireworks ready, it's time for the show. So I excitedly ran towards our town square and our Christmas tree to start lighting off all of our fireworks. Spending the time and resources to make fireworks is something I've never done before in my world, but it looks so beautiful at night, especially with our gingerbread village. So this is definitely something I plan to do more often in my worlds, and I hope you enjoy seeing our little fireworks show in Minecraft as we wrap up this year and get ready to start a brand new year. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for supporting my channel this year and always, and I cannot wait for next year with you all. I appreciate your support so much, and it's gonna be so fun to see where the channel goes into this next year. But sappy words aside, enjoy the rest of our little fireworks show. And just like that, all of the fireworks are used up, and that is going to do it for this episode. We will be adding in those shepherds to man the front desk checkout area in a future episode. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and if you celebrate New Year's, I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll see you next time.